Good afternoon everyone, my name's Neil Ringan, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a Principal Lecturer in Learning Technology in the Centre for Learning and Teaching. I was also responsible for developing the original business case to appoint the ELSOs. This afternoon I'd like to talk through some of the progress we've made with the ELSOs, but more importantly give you some ideas about their role going forward and the ways in which you might be able to work with them. I'm very conscious we're all logged on to the webinar this afternoon, coming in from different locations, and you may be thinking that I'm working at home at the moment, but I'm actually currently on leave in Barcelona, so I'm probably sitting having a tapas as you're watching this. However, you don't want to know what I'm doing on holiday, so here's some more information about the e-learning support officers. The ELSOs were originally funded, as I'm sure you're aware, as part of EQUAL, particularly to support the implementation of Strand 3B. The posts were originally for 2 years, managed and coordinated by the Centre for Learning and Teaching, but physically located out in the faculties, working with senior learning and teaching fellows and local e-champions, but reporting regularly back to myself and colleagues in CALT. The impact of the ELSOs has very quickly been recognised by Deans and Directorate, and the posts were made permanent after only 10 months. The role of the ELSOs today is more specifically focused on the implementation of Moodle, so supporting staff in the transition from WebCT to Moodle, and that's been very successful, with over 95% of the Level 3 and Level 4 units that were created as part of EQUAL in Moodle having more than a baseline level of content. The ELSOs have also been helping inform the institutional development, implementation and rollout of Moodle, so for example looking at additional plugins that might be required to extend the functionality, and also helping to test, pilot and support the ways in which Moodle and other core MMU systems talk to each other, such as the student record system, the coursework receipting system, the library, etc. The ELSOs have also been working to develop institutional business processes to make the implementation of Moodle as effective as possible, particularly around training, support and e-admin. It is worth flagging up here that the intention of the ELSOs was always that they were at the end of the support chain and would pick up the more unusual and complex queries, and that other parts of the institution such as IT services or faculty and campus SAS would deal with the more routine ones. So how is the role of the ELSO going to change going forward? Well, clearly they're still going to have a role in supporting the institutional implementation of Moodle, helping staff look at good practice and evaluate what they're using Moodle for, identifying new features and acting as a two-way communication channel between the centre and faculties. However, it is worth saying that the role is likely to move away from the E element to focus more on the learning element. So some of the things that the ELSOs may have been working with you to support over the last year or so supporting student and staff enrolments, for example, or providing more significant amounts of hands-on Moodle training, are likely to drop away over the next year and going forward. What that means is the ELSOs will be able to focus much more on effective embedding of technology in the curriculum, which is really what they were appointed for. So working across programme teams to support the effective embedding of technology within curriculum development and design, and also supporting the strategic angle, looking at increasing the amount of flexible delivery, increasing the number of collaborative partnerships, etc. across the institution. The ELSOs will also be looking to work with you to support and enhance the student experience, so making sure that effective blending between online and face-to-face elements of the curriculum are in place, and also looking at ways in which classroom practice can be enhanced perhaps by the application of mobile devices and other technologies. Another element of the ELSO role going forward will be to look at research, evaluation, piloting, trialling and embedding new technologies, and we would like them to work with you to look at some mini projects and some developmental work that you might be thinking about. It's worth flagging up that there are going to be some changes to structures affecting the ELSOs over coming weeks. The 4 staff in CALT who currently support technology enhanced learning will be transferring line management to LRT, working for Mark Stubbs in the next few weeks. My role will be changing to be assistant head of LRT, focusing on learning innovation, and the ELSOs will also be transferring their line management to LRT from CALT, reporting directly to me. It's worth flagging up though that there won't be any change in their role or their emphasis, and they won't be changing their location. They'll still be based out in the faculties. What this change will enable us to do though is to have a much greater synergy with the rest of the LRT team to make sure that the systems development, for example, is informed by how users want to use the tools, and then make sure that we test and evaluate things as effectively as we can. We'll also be able to increase the pedagogic input into other elements of LRIS, such as the library and IT services. So how might you be able to involve your ELSO? Well, if you're thinking of doing a minor or major modification to one of your units, it's worth having a chat with your ELSO to see if the issue you're trying to address could be supported or addressed by some cunning use of technology. At the programme level, we'd really like the ELSOs to become much more involved in the PARM process and working with programme teams to look at ways in which technology can be seamlessly designed into the programme structure as part of the annual monitoring, review and 5-yearly updating of programmes. If you're looking at increasing the amount of flexible delivery in your department or programme, or looking at overseas collaborative partnerships, again, it's really important to discuss this with your ELSO at the earliest possible opportunity, and ideally before you've got any concrete proposals, because their input could help you avoid any nasty surprises down the line once your programme is up and running. If you're planning any away days or planning events at the programme, subject, department or faculty level, please do invite your ELSO along to elements of that, or perhaps even all of it, so that they have an understanding of what's going in at that area of work. If you're undertaking any projects or research, the ELSOs are there to help you pilot that and evaluate it. They've all got a background in researching and evaluating the use of technology within the curriculum, and they're there to help you enhance the student experience, so please do use them as you feel it's appropriate to deal with any issues that you might pick up. So ideally, we'd like you to be working with your ELSOs to experiment, to look at new technologies that are out there or just existing technologies that you might not have used before, to evaluate the impact and the effectiveness of that in the curriculum and on the impact on the student experience, and to help you embed things as effectively as possible within the curriculum. So going forward, the role of the ELSO will change. It will focus much more on different elements of curriculum design, delivery, and focusing on the learning, and some of the elements of the e-admin and e-support and training that they may have been undertaking over the past year or so will diminish. But they are there for you to use, so please do engage with them as appropriate and as much as you can. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the webinar.